Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the FedTrends show. Now, we're going to kick off with a quick minute of GovCon. The top news stories, if you look across all of the different GovCon news sites, you hear a lot about COSP4, you hear a lot about DHS PAX 3, you hear a lot about FBI ITSSS 2. They're all follow-on contracts. Why are we hearing so much about them? So they are the largest, or some of the largest, contract vehicles in the industry. So why does that matter? There are companies that are going to have the next 10 years of their trajectory completely changed by either winning or losing those contracts. Now here's the thing. CISP4 has already been bid. It's already in the adjudication process. If you didn't bid, I can kind of move on at this point. You can wait and see who actually wins eventually and work on getting on a team after award. That's always okay. You can be available to bid on task orders as a part of somebody's team, but as a prime, it's probably time to move on for that. Now, the other two, DHS PAX 3 and FBI ITSSS 2, are pre-RFP phases. Now, here are the differences between the two. DHS PAX 3 is an anticipated follow-on that changes a little bit. Previously, PAX was only a service-disabled veteran-owned contract. What they've talked about doing for PAX 3 now is that they're going to allow woman-owned small business, 8As, hub zones, and service-disabled companies to participate. Now, what I would recommend you look for is what work are you really looking to pursue? PAX has historically been non-IT work, administrative and logistical. Now, what will be interesting on the new contract is, are they going to talk about what the procurement forecast is going to be? From my experience on the previous PAX contracts, a lot of the task orders were lower margin type work. People got very aggressive on the rates. And aside from a few giant task orders, there were a lot of smaller ones that were typically not really worth the time and effort of going after such a gigantic contract vehicle. Now, that could certainly change, but it's something to pay attention to. Don't automatically assume that getting a PAX award turns into a bunch of money. The next one is FBI ITSSS 2. So the original vehicle came out, was used a lot by FBI because even though Department of Justice has its own multiple award contract, FBI didn't want to pay the access fee. So they did their own contract. They did award a lot of work under it. The follow-on, what will be interesting is how much FBI background do you really have to have? Now, the first contract, it was very difficult to win if you did not have FBI experience or have FBI experience on your team. The preliminary scoring that was released the first time that all of the build-up came to ITSSS 2, FBI experience was really important. In different permutations of the scoring, you could not expect to win that vehicle if you didn't have FBI experience. So if you want to do work at FBI in the future, you probably have to be on a SSS team. And if you haven't done work at FBI before, priming it is probably not a viable option forward. So look at the scoring criteria, find some place that you can add points to somebody else's team, and market yourself as, I'm 300 points if you add me to the team. That's the way to go about that one. All right, now then, I wanted to switch over to another topic quickly, and this is research so that you don't have to. Now, where did I come up with the news alerts for these different topics? So I go to a lot of different news sites for GovCon just to stay plugged into the industry. But one that I think is really valuable, and I'm going to talk about why, is GovBrew. So the reason being, why do you need to go to a site? Okay, generally to stay informed, I get that, research on a particular topic, but if you're going to go to a networking event, if you're going to have a BD meeting, it's really important to sound well-versed in a lot of topics. You don't want to be standing around as somebody starts talking about something that is big in GovCon at the moment and have never heard about it. So GovBrew does a really good job of giving you about a 5-minute hit into the top stories of the day. You get an email Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the top hits are right at the beginning of it so that you can see what's really important. If you need to delve into DoD or civilian or intel, they have sections for that. The other thing that's really important is if you're going to have a business development meeting, context is really important. Understanding, is the team that I'm talking to, have they been here a long time, or have they been adding people? Have they been shrinking? Have they been winning? So GovBrew has both a contract award section and a leadership change section. Now, those can also be augmented by other content, certainly, but it's a good primer just to see where changes are happening in the industry. If you're going to go meet with somebody, if they're talking to you about a deal that is a year from now, if they just got there to that company and their whole team is brand new, it's possible that their overall strategy and direction might change. So you need to know that before you commit to somebody for a year or two down the road. So GovBrew, I recommend as a quick 5 minutes 3 times a week. And before you go to an event, before you get in on a BD call, it really, I find to be helpful. So that's the FedTrends episode for the week. Also take a peek at LinkedIn. I've got an article out there about employees and ways to connect it with your employees and ways for employees to communicate their value back to the company, because that's not always easy. Everybody doesn't always know exactly what everybody does in a company. So that's out there on LinkedIn for you. Thanks for watching. Talk to you on the next episode next week.